Willie Nelson is singing on the road again for Jacksonville State as they head to Central Arkansas this weekend for the tournament out there hosted by UCA. They'll play a couple of matches on Friday. They're playing Jackson State and Arkansas Pine Bluff on Friday, and then Saturday the final two matches. Jacksonville State will see South Dakota for the second time this season, and then they'll take on the Bears from the University of Central Arkansas. Coach Goodson, not a good weekend at Auburn, obviously. You had a great weekend at Alabama State the weekend before, and it just didn't go your way this past weekend down at Auburn, did it?
That was a great weekend, actually. We, and I'm almost not even tongue-in-cheek when I say that because, we feel like you learn a lot more when you lose. Winning is a lot more fun, obviously. It feels better, but you learn a lot more is revealed when you lose. So we're gonna turn those 3 losses into positives.
All right, 17 straight on the road to begin the season, and this is the 3rd straight tournament for Jacksonville State. Competition this weekend, the level of play, maybe not quite what you went up against last weekend? Yeah,
it should be a lot more similar to what we saw at Alabama State first weekend. The teams this past weekend, just the level of athleticism, 6'4", 6'5" middle blockers that can kind of fly laterally. We're not going to see that in the OVC. This weekend will be a lot closer to what we see during the OVC.
All right, just talked to Taylor Long and to Emily Rutherford a bit ago. 2 true freshmen who both played some so far. Have they made the adjustment so far to the college game?
Yes, I think so. And it's going to be an ongoing process, obviously, but it's been neat watching them grow a little bit. We see the flashes of brilliance. We see the times where they try things that, hey, in high school I can get away with this because I'm so physically talented, and at this level, not so much. But Emily in particular has been doing a fantastic job passing the ball. She's been one of our primary passers. Taylor's been getting repetitions on the outside, spelling Evie here and there, so I'm really happy with where they are.
All right, we're into classes now. They're sort of into a routine. Can you tell that the freshmen, at least, a little bit more used to what's going on in college and that sort of thing, and going on the road? Now, has that affected them starting classes and everything too?
Oh, the first day of classes is always fantastic. That practice that afternoon, and one day I hope to poll kind of college coaches across the country and see if their experiences are like mine. That first day of practice with classes is always fantastic. And I am saying that sarcastically. They were eyes glazed over, not really sure what left or right was. And so we know that, and we expect that. And they worked hard to get through it. They're great students, and so that adjustment is not going to take very long.
After this weekend, one more weekend, you go up to West Lafayette, Indiana, to Purdue, and a good tournament up there. But all this should set you up for the trials of being on the road in the Ohio Valley Conference when you start league play.
Yes, absolutely. And that was the thinking in setting up the schedule. To win the OVC, you have to win on the road. It's just that simple. And because physically the teams are so much more evenly matched, it really comes down to who can adjust being on the road, sleeping in hotel rooms, and who can't. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on is, the net's 7 feet 4 1/8 in the middle, and the court's 9 meters by 18 meters, no matter where you play. And so being on the road, we talk about that intentionally, getting comfortable in different situations. So first week in OVC play, we should be ready to go.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Jacksonville State volleyball team is on the road again this weekend. Remember, they're playing their first 17 matches away from home. This weekend, they head out to Central Arkansas for a tournament. They'll have a couple of matches on Friday and then 2 more on Saturday. They're 4-3 so far this season. Emily Rutherford to my left, Taylor Long to my right. A couple of freshmen on this year's squad for Jacksonville State. We'll visit with them. Tell you what, we'll start with you, Taylor, from Louisville, Kentucky. Talk about how you ended up at Jacksonville State.
Well, at first probably last January, I actually was committed to play at Mercer, and the coach ended up getting fired. And so I had to end up looking for other schools, and then someone had passed my stuff along to Coach Joe, and, as soon as he saw my stuff, he was like, I want to get you down here for a visit. And I ended up coming down here, and I loved it. And then a couple weekends after, he offered me, and I accepted. So that's how I ended up here.
Jacksonville's a little smaller than Louisville, Kentucky, isn't it?
Just a tiny bit, but I like the small town feel. It's not something I've grown up with, so it's nice to have that now. It's a nice experience. Well,
you've got family nearby, so did that play a part in the decision too?
It didn't really, just because I'm more close with the family back in Louisville, and my parents will be at pretty much every game. The only thing they're missing is this weekend's tournament in Arkansas, but they'll be at everything else because everything's, when we travel, it's closest to home, and then the farthest game we play is here, so I'll see my family all the time. So
And Louisville has been kind of the Jacksonville State program. Several young ladies have been through here. Did you know any of them, or did you talk to them if so?
Well, Lauren Harkins actually went to the same high school as me, and then we played at the same club, and I ended up switching a little bit later. But we talked, and she had said something before when I was looking for school. She's like, I think Taylor would really like Jacksonville State, and I ended up talking to her after I talked to Coach Joe, and she's like, oh my gosh, you have to come down, you have to visit. So that was really cool, just because I had like an inside opinion on everything, and she was really helpful with making the decision. And so
I can see her saying, oh my gosh,
yes.
knowing Lauren. Okay, Emily, let's talk a little bit about you. You're from Texas. How did you end up at Jacksonville State?
Well, it was kind of through mostly club volleyball. I talked to him, like he came to a lot of my matches, and then I called him every once in a while and came down for a visit in November, and wasn't really for sure because I had a couple other schools looking at me, so I went and visited them a little bit, and then once I was done with that, I committed in, I think it was around January-ish, and I loved it. It was a suit for me. So
I think you're a little farther from home than Taylor is. Has that been tough for you?
Yes, a little bit. Of course, I miss my little brother and my family, but I liked how family-oriented like the team and the coaches were, so that was also one of the main things that I was looking for.
All right, I'll ask you both the same question here. The adjustment from high school to college, what has been the biggest thing, the biggest difference you think from high school to college?
I think that since like the classes, like the professors aren't as strict, like you don't like this is weird, but like I'm always used to raising my hand and asking if I have to go to the bathroom or anything, and they're like, you can just leave, like you don't have to ask. So stuff, just random things like that, those have been a different adjustment for me, but other than that, it hasn't been too bad. So
Emily?
I would say the dress code. It's really nice being able to wear Nike shorts every single day to class.
I hadn't thought about that. The game, all right, you've played 7 matches so far. Can you tell a difference, high school or club? Is it speed, players bigger, taller, meaner, anything like that? What's the difference?
I think for me personally, I've just facing a bigger block. That's been a different, that's been an obstacle. But with where I've been from, like the pace of volleyball and everything has been kind of fast like that, so that wasn't really hard to adjust to, but there's definitely a lot bigger hands in front of you, so you really have to think about where you're going to hit the ball and placements and shots and all that. So
I have to agree with Taylor on that one, and also they hit harder. And playing in the back row, having to be low all the time. And also I came from 5A volleyball, so in high school, so it was also pretty fast, high speed, so that's really not a big influence. So,
are you ready to play a match at home at some point in time?
yes, I'm really excited for that, and I hope that people have said well, the attendance is a little weary, but I'm hoping that we can convince a lot of people to come out and be supportive. So I'm really looking forward to the home matches.
You ready to play one here at the Coliseum?
absolutely, I'm so excited.
All right, our ladies are on the road this weekend, as I said, at Central Arkansas. They'll play 2 matches on Friday and then 2 more on Saturday. The first home match for Jacksonville State will be Saturday, September the 29th. It's an OVC match here, 7 o'clock against Southeast Missouri State.